Welcome, beautiful soul. Before we even begin, I want to tell you something that came through almost instantly the moment I connected with this energy. Something happened recently that completely challenged everything they believed about you. They thought they had you figured out. They believed they knew your limits, your personality, your intentions, even your future. Spirit keeps showing me the image of someone standing perfectly still after witnessing something unexpected. It wasn't necessarily a dramatic event. It may have been a conversation, a decision you made, the way you handled pressure, or even the calmness in your silence. Whatever it was, this person suddenly realized that there is far more to you than what you've ever revealed. The message I'm hearing is very clear. They underestimated your strength. Not because you tried to hide it, but because you never felt the need to prove it. That is the first message Spirit wants you to receive today. Let's move into the first energy. The first card coming through carries the energy of hidden power. Spirit is showing me an old mountain covered in clouds. From a distance, it looks ordinary, but once the clouds move away, people suddenly realize how massive it truly is. That's your energy. For a long time, people have only seen the surface version of you. They've seen your kindness, your patience, your humility, your willingness to help others. But very few have recognized the wisdom you've gained through everything you've survived. Spirit keeps repeating one sentence. They finally felt your depth. Depth is something that cannot be faked. Some people are loud because they want attention. Your energy is different. You don't need attention. You naturally hold it. That's why certain people become unusually quiet around you. They can't explain it logically, but something inside them recognizes that your energy carries experience, maturity, and spiritual growth that cannot be measured by appearances. Now let's look at the second message because it's becoming even more interesting. Sensing someone who has been observing you for quite some time. This could be someone at work, someone from your family, a friend, or even someone who hasn't spoken to you in months. They may not interact with you often, but Spirit keeps showing me that they've been paying attention from a distance. Recently, they noticed something. Perhaps you stopped chasing people. Perhaps you stopped explaining yourself. Perhaps you quietly walked away from something that no longer respected your peace. Whatever happened, it completely changed the way they see you. The words coming through are, I didn't know they were this strong. This realization wasn't instant. It's been building for a long time. Little moments, small decisions, tiny changes, until finally everything connected. Spirit is showing me puzzle pieces falling perfectly into place. Now they understand. Now they realize that your silence was never weakness. It was self-control. Your distance wasn't pride, it was peace. And your patience wasn't fear, it was wisdom. Let's pull the next message. This energy feels incredibly emotional. Spirit keeps bringing my attention to someone who regrets judging you too quickly. At one point, this person believed they knew your heart. Now they're questioning everything. They're replaying conversations. They're remembering moments they overlooked. They're realizing that you carried burdens they never noticed. I even hear someone quietly saying, I wish I had understood sooner. Some of you won't hear these words spoken aloud. Instead, you'll notice changes in behavior, respect replacing criticism, curiosity replacing assumptions, kindness replacing distance. Spirit says actions will reveal what words cannot. Now, I want to pause here because I feel many of you struggle with something that has nothing to do with this other person. You struggle with believing your own value. Spirit is gently asking, why do you keep questioning gifts you've already proven? You've survived situations you never thought you would survive. You've healed from pain that once felt impossible. You've learned lessons that completely transformed your perspective. Yet every time a new opportunity appears, you still ask yourself if you're enough. Spirit wants to interrupt that pattern today. You are far more prepared than you realize. The next energy is beautiful. Spirit is showing me a lantern, not a spotlight, a lantern. A lantern doesn't force people to look. It simply shines. Whoever needs the light naturally walks toward it. That is exactly how your energy works. You don't convince people, you inspire them. You don't chase respect, you naturally earn it. And that's why someone has recently started paying much closer attention to everything you say. The next message coming through is connected with timing. Spirit says this is not the beginning. This is confirmation. Many of you have spent years quietly becoming the person you're meant to be. You thought nothing was changing because the outside world looked the same. But underneath the surface, everything has changed. Your confidence has matured, your intuition has sharpened, your discernment has become stronger. And people are beginning to notice the difference. I keep hearing they're not the same person anymore. Now let's look at another card. Spirit is showing me a bridge. One side represents your old life. The other represents the next chapter. You're already standing in the middle. That's important because some of you still think you're waiting for your new season. Spirit says, no, you've already entered it. The evidence may still be subtle. Small opportunities, unexpected conversations, new people entering your life, old connections fading away. These aren't random events. They're signs that your path is adjusting to match the person you've become. The next message feels very personal. Someone is beginning to trust your judgment more than they ever have before. They may start asking your advice, seeking your opinion, watching how you respond before making their own decisions. Not because you're trying to lead, but because your consistency has quietly earned their confidence. Spirit says leadership often arrives before the title does. Many of you have been leading people without realizing it. Your example has been teaching lessons your words never needed to explain. Now I feel another message coming through. This one is about release. Spirit says there are still people who only recognize the older version of you. They expect you to stay small, to stay quiet, to keep accepting less than you deserve. When you stop doing that, they become uncomfortable. Please don't mistake their discomfort for a sign that you're doing something wrong. Sometimes growth simply makes old expectations impossible to maintain. You are not responsible for making everyone comfortable with your evolution. Spirit wants you to hear that again. You are not responsible for making everyone comfortable with your evolution. Now I'm sensing an important shift taking place over the coming weeks. There is a conversation that has been waiting to happen. For some of you, someone may finally admit they misjudged you. For others, the apology may never come. Instead, you'll simply notice a different attitude, greater respect, more patience, more consideration. Sometimes changed behavior is the loudest apology a person knows how to give. The next message is one of reassurance. Spirit says, stop measuring your progress by how many people recognize it. Flowers don't bloom because everyone is watching. They bloom because it's time. Your growth isn't delayed because someone else hasn't acknowledged it. Your purpose doesn't become smaller because someone refuses to see it. Keep becoming who you're meant to become. The right people will recognize it naturally. As we move toward the final message, Spirit is placing one image before me, a mirror, not so someone else can see you, so you can finally see yourself. This entire reading isn't really about another person's realization. It's about yours. Their reaction is simply reflecting something that has been true all along. You've become stronger than the version of yourself that still lives inside your doubts. You've become wiser than the fears you've been listening to. You've become more prepared than you believe. Spirit says today is the day you stop introducing yourself to life as your past self. Walk forward as the person you've already become. Because the opportunities coming toward you are looking for this version of you, not the smaller version you've been carrying out of habit. Before we close, Spirit leaves you with one final message. Keep your kindness. Keep your gentle heart. Keep your compassion. Your light was never meant to become harder just because you've become stronger. Real strength remains calm. Real wisdom remains humble. Real confidence doesn't need to announce itself. It simply exists. If this message found you exactly when you needed it, take a quiet moment today to thank your guides, your higher self, and your own heart for bringing you here. Trust what resonates. Release what doesn't. And remember this. Someone recently saw a side of you they never expected to witness. But the greatest transformation isn't happening in their mind. It's happening within yours. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this message resonated, let me know in the comments which part spoke directly to your heart. Take care of yourself, keep following your intuition, and I'll see you in the next message reading. Sending you love, clarity, and peaceful blessings always.